if not possible, also later on with a lot of kind of detergents. So both of them are easiest to clean. The typical trends for Italian manufacturer is to consider more wool than polyester or on fixed upholstery. But it's just the opposite solution, because if you have removable, it's nice to have a removable polyester that can be put in a washing machine, just because it's easier.
Okay, good, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, we go on.
Please.
And you can see these nice shapes, how to suggest the right fabric, how to choose the right fabrics for the right shape or furniture. And in this slide, I bring you in our showroom in Milan for an example. We know that normally wool is a bit softer yarn than polyester that is more rigid. Let's say it's not stretchy, but a bit more stretched than polyester. In our showroom, for example, we have a nice Harper sofa with the Arcos sofa with upholstered with Vescom Ponza, that is a polyester velvet. And then we have two Moroso Armada small club chairs, upholstered with woolen, that is a wool. And you can see how a wool can properly follow the round curves, the round shapes of these nice chairs. Another example, interesting, is in our headquarter lobby in Vescom headquarter in Deurne. In our lobby, there is a nice Vitra Gran Repose lounge chair. Is upholstered with lamo. Lamo is a strong felted wool, very soft but resistant through the years. Became through the years very soft, but resistance to every kind of breaks and abrasions. And this is a nice upholstery to these great round shapes designed by architect Antonio Citerio for Vitra. This is what we want to avoid. How could we avoid these bad results in a sofa or in a cushion, in a big cushions? Probably in this case, the choice has been made with a too light fabric, with these bad waves, or a cheap and rigid fabrics. Probably good for small chairs and cushions in a private home, but not for big surfaces and sofas, for example. And this is an example. This is another interesting Italian manufacturer like La Cividina, using our wool fabrics like woolen in this big cushion sofa, or in this organic shapes in this waves poof family. This is a summary of these nice two fabrics that I shown. Lamo with 100,000 Martindale test and 30 wonderful color palettes, and woolen 100,000 Martindale, sorry, and 47 colors. But I give you another example with a nice polyester called Estan in a nice chair from Vilcan called Chassis. In this case, Estan is glued directly on the chassis of this nice chair. So Estan is a flame retardant polyester fabric, but can be anyway used in several kind of installation. And it's interesting because just our customers, a couple of customers in Italy, gave us interesting examples, but with totally different feedbacks. I show you why. We have the same fabrics. This is one customer, this is another customer. This customer said to us, well, I use this Estan polyester only for flat surfaces, upholstering cabinets, because for me, this fabric is not good for sofa. And this is another customer that take exactly the same fabric for this great sofa with big cushion and big backrest and borders, also for acoustic properties and solutions. So in many situations, the upholsterer kills or the manufacturer can also influence your choice. and sometimes they can say this is good, this is not good, and we have totally different experience. This is another example. So like
sorry,
similar.
Massimo, can you
Please,
go,
please,
can you
please.
go back one slide?
Sorry, yes.
Because I was reading an article in
Let's go.
Architectural
This one.
Digest, and
This
they were talking about changes in interior design with all this situation we're going through, and that they are looking for creative ways to maintain distance within public areas. So I can imagine that new applications of our materials can help building special components, partition walls, other things, other more architectural forms. So I think it's interesting to see this in that light.
Yeah, yeah. All the manufacturers are looking at this kind of solution right now. Exactly. Yes. Yes. And this is another example that bringing you to another nice families of our upholstery, the mohair, the velvet mohair. This is Ariana, a nice mohair velvet with a high pile. It's a 5 millimeters pile, and it could be that some customers, some manufacturers told you, it happens to us, that somebody told us, we don't use velvet because velvet gave us sewing problems. It's interesting that always say that it's fabric giving problems. It's always the fabric giving problems, it's not the upholstery skills giving problems. But anyway, the answer came to last Salone del Mobile in Milano in 2019. Moroso introduced these two great sofa families. This is Artbreaker by designer Johannes Torp, and this one is Armada collection designed by Doshi Levien, and both are upholstered with our mohair velvet Zanzibar with these perfect sewings, perfect curved shapes, perfect for the combination with the furniture. And also we understand that also an high pile mohair can have a perfect sewing and is not giving problem for sewings, but is depending on probably on the upholsterer skills. And also a perfect 45 degrees corner sewing can be at the state-of-the-art sewings. This is a summary of our nice mohair velvets. Ariana and Zanzibar, these two mohair velvets are different for the weight. Zanzibar is a bit more heavier and the direction of the pile, but both are 100% mohair. Ariana in fantastic 35 trendy colors, Zanzibar 34, and Togo very particular with 70% mohair and 30% of silk in 24 colors.
Massimo, whilst we on, sorry, Dan, whilst we talking about the mohair, perhaps you could explain for the viewers that don't know mohair, what it actually is, what the yarn is compared to that of wool.
Yeah, it's always a kind, yes, it's always a kind of wool coming from a special kind of goat from South Africa. It's a very rare and strong yarn, non-typical because there are few manufacturers in the world and few mohair yarn manufacturer, typically in South Africa due to this presence of these goats. And we have to say also that very important question, Kim, because there are many velvet fabrics manufacturer in the world, but there are very few mohair manufacturers, and this is coming from our own mill in Holland that is very skilled and specialized only for mohair velvets manufacturers.
Fantastic. No, it really is a beautiful product. And that you're looking at the mohair compared to a man-made yarn, it has so much more color. Can you explain why that is? Vibrant?
Sorry, you said, I don't understand, Kim.
So the mohair yarn, if you're looking at the pictures you've showed us, the
Yes.
color is extremely vibrant
Yes.
compared to that of a man-made yarn like a FR polyester. Can you
Yes.
explain to the viewers why that is?
Yeah, because due to the quality of the fiber, this is a very precious yarn that, despite considering the resistance and considers also the capability of getting the colors, so it remains very bright, and a lot of colors becomes very strong. So it's very particular, and you can see immediately the difference when you take a look in comparison to a standard polyester velvet or cotton velvet. And we have to say that also in our factory we can manufacture directly this velvet also with custom made colors by request of an architect or for a specific projects.
I would like to say that we will be sharing this presentation to everybody. It will be available in Spanish, in Portuguese, and in English, obviously. And just for my Brazilian friends here watching, nós vamos disponibilizar a mesma apresentação também ao vivo para vocês em português ou em espanhol. So for those of you, para quem não consegue acompanhar o inglês com tanta facilidade, nós, por favor, procure a gente depois desse evento, que vamos tentar reproduzir da melhor maneira possível em outras línguas. Yes, Massimo.
Thank you. And some examples on talking about the nice colors that we were talking a few minutes ago, just some combinations examples. You can easily create a nice combination with all Vescom upholstery collection because every fabric can talk with the others very easily. It's a game that you can play every day. And in this case, we have a mohair velvet Ariana that is a plain color combined with the background yarn of Estan. And you, of course, you can do the opposite, for example, with the upper yarn, like this, in this fantastic combination in green. This is Lani, a felted wool of our collection with a lot of colors that you can see in the background of Kim herself. And another example in turquoise, very nice. So it's very easy. It's very easy for all of you to create a nice combination and not considering a single fabric himself. This is a ready-made combination. This is DINS, 15 plus 15 double-faced colors, 110,000 martindale rubs, and you can use on both sides the same fabrics, a nice boucle in almost plain colors and also reversed with this pattern. So you can create nice combinations in the same furniture piece. It's a ready-made combination with our collection card or a collection swatch. I give you just other examples, but it will be just an inspirational. This is another polyester chenille from our upholstery collection called Nos. It's very soft. It's a contract fabric that is also considered for residential use because it's very soft with the nice cozy and warm colors. In a combination, let's say in a trendy combination of powder pink with another nice rolla, this similar, it's a jacquard with a pois perception also, if not a real dots, a real square. This is a nice powder pink combination, but if we put a nice gray mohair velvet together, it changed dramatically the mood, more elegant, more classic. So these are just some examples, but regarding your interior project, there is a lot of combination, an easy combination between our collection, our wall coverings, This is a textile wall coverings. Our upholsteries, or also our curtains. They can, we just show you these examples because, but it's your job to create great material alchemies and woodboards. We like to say, yes, please, yeah,
sorry.
Dan.
There's a question for our friend Leon. Leon,
Yes.
sales rep from the Netherlands. Are the colors also used in the curtain and wall coverings collections? Obviously, this is something you're showing right now, but it's maybe you can talk a little bit more about that.
Sorry, you said are the colors?
Are the colors that we use in upholstery fabrics also used in wall coverings and in curtain fabrics? Well, you were talking about this, but this was a specific question coming from Leon.
Yeah. Of course, this is all the collection there is a connection between them, and it's easy to combine your walls with the curtains and with the fabric. Sometimes you can have nice tone sur tone combinations, or plain and dual yarn colors that stay together. But both the wall covering, both the curtains, and both the upholsteries can have the same color inspiration, and they can combine easily together. So we just like to say that Vescom jobs is to make the daily life easier of an interior designer. They create the mood boards very easily, and we can give these materials in a very short delivery samples for your projects and presentation. And you can find all this nice combination on our webpage and other inspirational pictures when you can show how it's easy to combine them all together.
And I think also important to say that we never develop product in an isolated way, but it's always thinking about combining them with existing products, right?
Yeah, because we like to show when our skilled account managers or people working in Vescom group, when somebody asks us to see curtains, we anyway like to show also wall coverings and upholstery. If somebody asks for wall covering, we also show fabrics and upholsteries, because we like to show how all the collection stay very easily together, and each different segments put strong to the collection and can be easily combined.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And a quick, almost finish, a quick look to our vinyl upholsteries, because also here there is a lot of things to say, a lot of combination, a lot of products. We have nice textile looks. This is Yemo in a let's say a kind of plain, semi-plain textile linen look, but in semi-leather vinyl upholstery, and Scott with this pattern. You can see a lot of different strong vinyl upholstery, easy to clean and strong, very strong for hygienization or different kind of use in public spaces when people want to be sure that can easily clean every piece of furniture, or something more classic like this nice Lione Plus in a more semi-leather but in a fantastic contemporary color palette. So there's a lot of different combination and inspiration that you could have taking a look also in our website vescom.com. This is I like to close my presentation with this picture. It's a picture always from our Milan showroom with a nice combination with all of our products, the textile wall covering, the vinyl wall covering, the curtains, and the upholsteries. So all this information are on our webpage together with other inspirational image, and all together with all of our international contacts that you can ask around the world for every request or sample delivery.
I saw two new. Thank you, Massimo. I saw two new questions.
Thank you.
One
yes,
of them we will put to the end. Another one I would
Okay.
like to ask you, Kim. There was a question about if our upholstery fabrics can be used as curtains as well.
Oh, there was. Oh, fantastic. Yes, they can. We have, well, we've had some projects whereby, in particular, Lani has been used, which is the wool felt projects, and also cress. I've used on as a curtain before. What you do need to just be careful for is where it's being used, and what certification they require, because curtain certification for AFR and upholstery are two very different certifications. So that just needs to be taken into account. But in terms of the actual material, there are some upholsteries that can be used for curtains.
Okay, thank you. Janne, could you please make me host so I can share your presentation? And while you're doing that, I see that there are two people who would like to talk something. I would like to invite Alice here. One moment. If my mouse helps me. Yes. Alice, please do join us. You will, however, need to activate your microphone, otherwise it's not going to work. Okay, unmute. So let's see if this works.
You're still on mute.
No, okay, so in some way it's not working. Carmen, I saw that Carmen wanted to say something as well. Okay, well, while we're waiting for that, I'm going to share Mr. Janne's presentation. One moment, please.
Yeah.
Okay, Janne, so it's all yours.
Yep, I can't see anything yet, but I'm sure
It should
it's
be
coming, right?
Yeah.
Nothing yet.
Nothing yet? Okay, well here it's already on sharing, so it should be.
There
Yeah.
we go.
Yes? Okay, let me. Okay. So this is the first slide, right?
Yep, correct.
Okay.
Yes, there's while Dan start up the computer here, as Dan told you before, I've been working with this about 25 years now, and we mainly focus on upholstery textiles, but also curtains and wall carving as well. And we want to go through some slides, and it's about mainly about what to use in which space in the office or hotel, etc., etc. So Dan, you can take the next page.
Yes.
We work with a lot of producers, architects, interior designers, etc. They specify a fabric, and the producer buys it, and a lot of different producers worldwide use us as a standard supplier today. And did you change slide?
Yes.
Yeah, this is some of them. A lot of them are worldwide actually, like Arbor, Hay, maybe Kinnarps, Orange Box, Kush. These ones are the Italian ones, right? Massimo, like Arbor, Moroso, Minotti, etc. So a lot of producers worldwide work with our designs already, so they are quite familiar with them. But sometimes they order a piece of test fabric from our production to just make sure that it's good to upholster that chair with that design, so the result will be really, really good, and that's a good way to do it. Yeah, next slide then. When it comes to planning of textiles, we work a lot of different way in different countries, of course, but we work quite close together with the architects and also the end users. We actually have a lot of people in our showroom, or we get out to the customer and discuss the solution for them, because it's so many different brands and so many different solutions and textiles today, and most of them are quite good, but it's all about, in my mind, to choose the right design on the right furniture in the right area, so you don't use a good fabric actually in the wrong area in the room. For example, an entrance hall, you will use wool, which it's quite easy to take care of and keep clean in the long run. So the concept is a little about that, what to think of and what to use in the right room. So the first question then, if you change the picture, the first question we come to when we talk about textile planning, as we call it, it's what kind of activity will it be in this room, and how about frequency in this room. Will it be a lot of people? Will it be a lot of food, dust, dirt, coffee, wine, etc.? How much will it be used in that kind of way? So we put the right things on the right spot. And we normally say that wool is recommended in, for example, office chairs, conference chairs, where we are sitting a lot. It's not so often with coffee, lunch breaks, etc. We use it when we work and we sit still, and we really work when you are on that chair. So it's not so heavy. When you talk about dirt, etc., it will not be so difficult to clean it, etc.
How would you, Janne, sorry, how would you normally clean wool? Because I think
wet
a lot of
cloth.
people will think it's very difficult to clean wool.
Yeah, we clean it with a wet cloth, actually, with a soft wet cloth, a clean cloth, some water on it, maybe some detergent to just make the fat loose up, so to say, so we get it out on the furniture, and we try to clean it from the outside to the inside on the spots. We don't put the dirt out on the chair, so to say. So first we clean the spot outside to the inside to the center, and then afterwards we try to clean off the whole chair, because sometimes you clean the spot and you can see the difference, that the spot is clean but the rest of the chair is quite dirty all over. So clean the whole furniture, not just the spot, especially when it comes to wool, because the fibers also react in different ways on water. So it can be some illusions when it comes to light, so to say. So it can change in the way you see it.
Okay.
Even when it gets dried, so it's good to clean the whole fabric or the whole furniture.
And Jana, while we're speaking about the cleaning of the wool, are we able to clean it with alcohol?
No, we don't do that. We do not recommend that.
Okay.
When
Do
it
not
comes to
recommend,
wool, right?
because when it comes to wool, because you have this you have the kind of natural Scotch guard protection of wool. It's called lanolin, and if you use strong cleaning, like alcohol cleaning, you take the lanolin away from the fabric, and then it will be really hard to clean.
Okay.
And when I started in this business many years ago, we always were told that we need to use wool because it's so easy to clean, and that was true, and it's still quite easy to clean if you do it directly. If you wait 1 hour or 2 hours or 5 days, etc., it's get harder to clean, because it's the dirt really goes down into the fibers. It really goes down into the fibers, and the synthetic yarns that Vescom are using today, our own so-called polyester FR, they are so solid, so to say. So they are easy to clean even after 10 years or 5 years or 2 weeks or just now. It's good
Sorry,
fiber today.
moving a little bit away from this, but there's a question from the public about the reaction to the sun. Do the colors of our fabrics change with the reaction with sun?
Yeah, actually all fabrics change both to sun and heat. Actually, you don't have so many heaters down in Brazil maybe, but we have it up here in the north, and if you put the sofa close to a heater, it would change in color. And it's the same with the sun, actually. So it could be a problem if you have direct sun into the sofa a couple of hours every day. Something will happen, and it's a problem all over.
Okay.
But there are also the tests, as Massimo told you about before. It's all on the homepage, on the backside of the this collections, books,
Artificial.
etc.
Yeah.
card.
So there's a test for that.
Okay.
But it could be a problem when it's a lot of sun. That's true.
Jane, our test is related to artificial light.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it's a forced fake light, so to say. So really push through, so you see how much the colors fade in the color compared to the original design. So that is what we recommend. Wool, if you really like to use wool, is good into the office chairs and into the conference chairs, for example. When we talk about library, education, offices, conference rooms, elder homes, etc., there could be food, dining, lunch, wine, coffee, etc., etc. It's quite dirty environment actually, a lot of stains, etc. There is good to use the polyester FR or Vescom vinyl because it's extra easy to clean. It's really easy to take care of, and you can have a good looking chair or sofa for 10 years or 15 years. It's just to take water and some detergent and clean it when you need it. That's a little bit harder with wool. And one other thing with which is quite good with our fibers is that they are the color are through the fibers. So even if sometimes you can see a cheap sofa or a cheap chair where it's a gloss in the fibers, it gets shiny. You can never see that on wool because it's the same with wool. The fibers are dyed all through the fibers. And it's the same with the synthetic yarns, the Vescom synthetic yarns. Really keep the fibers in a good way. You don't get this shiny sofa after 2 years or 5 years, etc. So the yarns are really, really good to work with. When we talk about hospitals and kindergarten, etc., it's quite tough in my environment, especially today with this COVID-19. We always recommend our Vescom vinyl upholstery because they pass heavy cleaning, like alcoholic cleaning, etc. They can really stand it for year after year. We had it for 9-10 years in Sweden now with alcoholic cleaning every day, and it's still no claims. It's really, really durable and easy to clean.
Janne, you told me that in Sweden they've been using alcohol with over 70%.
72%, yes.
Alcohol and no vinyl upholstery.
No. Most often they don't even after clean it with a dry cloth. They just take the alcoholic cleaning on, clean the chair and go to the next chair. And it's really, really durable. But one thing is because of its vinyl, that's number one, but it's also a little bit thicker than normal semi-synthetic leather or artificial leather, as I call it.
Okay.
So they are extremely durable, really, really nice. And we also have this fantastic one that Massimo showed as well that really looks like upholstery fabrics, like creek, for example. You can't see the difference in if you are 50 centimeters from the fabric, you still think that is a woven fabric. So it don't need to get boring to use artificial leather today because they are really, really nice designs.
Sorry, Janne, before you
yep.
go on to the next thing, if I can ask, in the high traffic areas such as hospitals, kindergartens, as I mentioned earlier, casinos, we often get asked if our materials have extra stain repellent added to them. And obviously I know the answer to this, but if you could just explain it a bit more and and if we had to add it, would it make any changes to FR certification?
It's always possible to add after treatments like that, for example. But the problem is, as soon as you clean it, you take it away. It's not there forever, so you actually take it away. And of course, it can also have an effect on the fire retardancy. Then we have to test it in that case. But I think it's better to use either you use the Vescom upholstery, the vinyl upholstery, or you use our Vescom polyester FR because these fibers are really, really nice to clean. It's really easy to clean them. And then you don't have to have this after treatment. Because if you use that, you have to keep on doing it. As soon as you clean the furniture, you have to do it. And people are sitting there and they actually tear this treatment out.
And it's Janne, it's going back a little bit to the first question. What are you using it for, and what is the main thing you're considering when choosing fabric? If your main argument is looking for cleanability, then obviously you would more likely go towards polyester or vinyl. If you're looking more for comfort, more to comfort than to cleanability, they might think consider other kinds of fabrics.
I normally say, like, if you're sitting like 2 hours or more, it's always nice to sit on wool or mohair wool, because as Massimo told you before, the wool absorbs the moisture. It's keep you. If you are 37 degrees, the fiber makes sure that you will be like 37 degrees, because if you're warm, it will get down to the temperature that is around you, and if you're cold, it will increase the temperature. It's a climate control, so to say, but it's good. It's really, really nice fibers as long as you clean it directly.
Yeah.
So that's why we don't use it in lunchroom or fast food restaurants, etc. It's because people don't care about. It's not my chair, so I don't have to clean it.
Yeah.
I just change chair instead of clean it. So that's the reason why. If we talk about hotels, restaurants, fine dining, etc., we normally recommend actually wool or mohair fibers, especially mohair fibers. They are quite more durable than the normal wool. In the hotel rooms where people are alone, so to say, and nobody can see what they do, we recommend polyester FR again, or our vinyl upholstery that looks like leather or textile furniture, because it's a lot of things in the hotel room. It's beer, wine, etc. So it's get dirty quite quick.
Janne, one question with regards to rooms in hotels. We've received a question from a partner of ours. They have a hotel near the beach, and their concern was about sunscreen. Their clients coming back from the beach and putting their head to the headboard, and they were very worried about whether or not they could clean the sunscreen that gets onto the headboards.
I think the only answer to that is vinyl upholstery.
Yeah.
If you like to do it easy solution for the customer, the end user. Otherwise, a tight woven fabric like Cress or Samar or maybe Acton, but it will be harder to clean, definitely.
Okay.
But in that way, Creek or Arrow or Malta or Silica is perfect fabrics to use, because they look like textiles.
Yeah.
You just take water and detergent and clean it whenever you need.
Thank you.
Restaurants again, mohair or Vescom polyester, because it's a lot of food going, not going into the mouth. It's going down on the sofa or this wine or beer or whatever it is. It's need to be easy to clean. Actually, we had a restaurant here this morning. They reupholstered 2 times during 3 years now, and now they were so fed up on this cost, and they have dirty furniture. It was really looking like, it was really, really bad. So now they decided to use our design Hestan, which also Massimo showed before, because it's a quite heavy melange, so it's really hide the spots. And they use Hestan on the seating elements, say, and on the back they will use artificial leather. So that will be the solution for their problem. I think that will work very well. So it's also good to think about that. We need to use polyester FR in this case, but maybe we should use quite a heavy melange structure instead of a quite fine melange effect like we have in our new design Acton, for example, or Cress or Samar. So it's different designs for different use, actually. And you talked about casinos before, Kim. We don't have so many casinos in Sweden. I think we have 3 in total.
Yeah, okay.
That's all. When people are sitting there, I think it's also good to use polyester FR.
Okay. Yeah.
And we have this beautiful. Sorry.
No. As I say, restaurants and mohair, one of the challenges we come up against here in the warmer climate with mohair is more of our body parts, I guess the legs, and that are exposed to the yarn. And as Massimo mentioned, we do have different piles, lengths of the yarn. Perhaps you can just explain a bit about that, and what a solution would be in that.
I think the solution is unfortunately to wear pants.
or instead of
instead of shirts, because wool is stitchy. That's the way it is.
Sorry, no, mohair I'm referring to.
But also mohair.
Yeah.
Also mohair is quite a strong fiber. It's really long when we I think the mohair goats are the fibers are like, I think it's 100 to 300 millimeters long. It's a long fiber, and we cut it down and use it. It gets quite strong, so to say. So it's a little bit stitchy as well. But you can also use like Ariana, where the pile is lying down.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's one way to use it. Otherwise, you have to either you have to accept it. It's a little bit stitchy, or you have to go over, for example, for our design Fuga or Noss, Burton, etc. These designs that looks quite exclusive and very, very soft, especially Noss and Fuga. They are extremely soft to be a synthetic fiber. So it's just as you say, Kim. It's the same with all wool fabrics. Some people think it's really stitchy.
Yeah.
That we have to live with that. I think our design Lani, you have to correct me, Massimo, if I'm wrong, but I think our Lani is one of the softest wool you can have. It's really, really nice in the grip and the feeling. It's extremely nice, but it's not the same as a mohair wool, unfortunately. It's not a velvet.
Yeah, but also, guys, if I can add something, can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah. Sorry,
yes.
please
Now,
do.
regarding the wool and the stitchy feel, in many situations, this is also a kind of fake feel that we have in the beginning, touching samples or touching the fabric when it's bright new in the roll. When the wool is used, is installed, becomes softer also after the installations, and the strong yarn of the wool remains through the years but becomes softer. So it becomes better and better through the years. So this feeling is always improving in a softer way, also with wool, with nice wool.
That's correct.
Thank you. Good to know. Thank you.
I think we have actually we should have one more note here, like fast food cafes, etc. We work a lot with some big hamburger brands, etc. And it's a good way in these kind of restaurants. It's really good to use our Vescom vinyl upholstery because it's heavy traffic and it's really a lot of things on these chairs. So it's, if you need it to be easy taken care of, it's good to use the vinyl. Okay, Dan, here's the textile planning. This is sometimes how we sit down with the architect and the end user and discuss what kind of design should we use where. The architects very often have a color concept. We would like to have these colors or this feeling, and then we can then we write them down here and we put down some mood boards for them on the not on boards but on the table here. This is some good examples to combine fabrics like Massimo also showed you. So if you look on the side where it says contour, it's the same as office in English. And for example, here we recommend wool or a woven synthetic, like Acton, for example, because people are sitting here and this is my room, it's my chair. I want to have it clean and nice in my room. So it's okay to use wool here, I think.
Janne,
Good.
Janne, with regards to this, our colleague from Spain, Maite, had a question. She said that she has difficulty selling wool in offices in Spain because they stress that they find it a difficult fabric to clean.
Yeah, and that's what I told you before. You have to clean it directly.
Yeah.
Directly. You really need to make sure that you take the spot right now when you do it. Otherwise, it goes down in the fibers, and it's a lot of the fiber is built up like I have no idea what the word is in English. it's a bit up with small pockets like that, and the dirt goes down into the pockets, and when you clean the surface, you get the dirt from the surface off the furniture, hopefully, but all the dirt in these pockets are still visible when you see the furniture. That's what you see.
Yeah.
So it's that's true. It's true.
Okay, thank you.
So this is what we say to the or recommend the architect or the end user. This is a private, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 private offices. Please, you can use wool, it's no problem, because people are careful about their own office, so to say. And here we have open landscapes. So here we can, today there's one guy sitting here and another day he's sitting up here. So people are really going around in this area and work activity based, depending on what they are doing. And here we recommend them to use woven synthetic, as a synthetic fiber like Ecton has done, Burton, etc. A design that is easy to adapt into the landscape, easy in color, for example, depending what color they need to use, because people are not so careful about what they are sitting on here, if they get stains on it, etc. And people don't have their own chair here. It's a totally open landscape to work in. If we go down to sorry.
Yeah. Just, do you think it's likely, if we see the changes, the transition we're going through at this moment, do you think we will have more or fewer flexible working stations? And if so, with having more flexible working stations, do you think there will be an increasing demand for woven synthetics?
I think so, and we can see what we call activity-based offices in Sweden since many years, and in general the office square meters goes down with 30% because all people are not in the office every day, so it's stupid to pay a lot of rent for space you don't use. So it's a lot of offices today going over to activity-based workspaces. So actually these offices are disappearing. The boss is sitting out here somewhere. It's people don't have their own desk anymore. You have to sit on different chairs every day. And it's to come back to this open landscape here, it's why we don't use wool here. It's because of the cleanability, of course, but it's also people are not sitting so long. And maybe you sit there 1 hour, 2 hours, you're moving around a lot. So you don't have to sit on wool actually. And when you talk about the question again, the future, I think our fibers, the Vescom polyester FR fiber is so nice. It's so soft. It's so smooth. It's not so extremely hard anymore. So I think it's actually a winner fiber. It's a really nice fiber compared to 10 years ago or 12 years ago. The fibers really develops. So it's good fibers, and you can actually not see the difference. If you take, for example, our Acton, you can't see if it's wool or if it's synthetic yarn. It's really hard to see. Okay. When it comes to the kitchen, the cafe, etc., here we definitely use synthetic fiber or vinyl upholstery because it's the same here. It's a lot of food, and people normally don't take so much notice if they're going down some coffee or etc. on the chairs. And we also need to know that if when the chair or the textiles get dirt in it, it's also developed. It's if it's 100,000 martingales, it's when it's clean. We take a new piece of fabric and do the martingale test. If we take the same fabric and put a lot of things in it, fill it with stains, so to say, the martingale will be much less because the fibers. It's have an effect on the fiber, so to say. When we come to, we have a storage room here where we get a lot of stuff from the headquarters, or maybe we send a lot of things, etc. We packing goods, etc. I use vinyl upholstery because it's heavy traffic, it's scissors, there's a lot of things happening in here, so it's the easiest way to keep it clean, definitely. So this is the way we think about it. Long private sitting wool, landscape, synthetic materials, pantry, easy to clean fabrics like the synthetic or the vinyl, and the storage rooms, vinyl upholstery. So it's quite easy. Yes, Dan, I saw the next picture.
Yeah, sorry.
No problem. This is just a short overview. We have it in an Excel file that you can have later, but this is a small recommendation from our side where to use what. You can see the name of the upholstery. You can see the material. You can see if it's liquid proof. That means if you pour liquid on top of the fabric, will it go down to the foam into the chair, or will it stay on the fabric, so to say? And most of these designs you have here can actually have a liquid proof backing, not provided by us, but there's a lot of companies worldwide who do this lamination on the backside. It's quite cheap actually, and it's we use it sometimes for elder houses. People are yeah, like elder houses, kindergarten, etc., where some accidents can happen. Washability 30 to 70 degrees, as Massimo also showed you. We call it recommended environments. Ecton is a polyester FR fabric, and we recommend it actually all over the places except for concert halls and theaters, because you are sitting like 2 hours, 3 hours, and you're sitting a long time, and then you need the climate control that the wool fabric gives to you actually. So all 100% polyester FR fabrics have the same information here on that line. And then we come to Ariana, which is a mohair wool, 100%, also made in Holland, especially made for long sitting areas, concert halls, theaters, cinemas, some hotel areas, etc. An exclusive furniture in the entrance hall in a company, so for example, when you need to add some extra attention and feeling to a furniture. Bowen is 92% wool and 8% polyamide. For offices, for example, where you're sitting a long time, as I told you before, you need the climate control that the fabrics gives you. So these are the three different designs to start with, or materials to start with. Then further low we have artificial leather or what did you call it, Massimo? Semi-textile something, semi-leather. And we have a lot of different designs there. Some of them looks like leather, some of them looks like textile upholstery, like Arrow, Creek, Cypress, a lot of them.
Yeah.
And they are really, really good to use in hospitals, like contaminated areas, hospitals, schools, nursing homes, elder homes, dentists. We use it a lot in libraries, actually. There's a lot of frequency, a lot of people in and out, cafe, fast food, etc. So this is just a short overview where we think the different designs are suited to use in the best way. Yes, Dan. This is the picture. We actually share, we have a nice combination in Sweden together with the 3 high design brands. One of them are Offect, which work a lot with Karim Rashid, if you know this designer, for example, and a lot of other world famous designers of furnitures. So here we have some different rooms. We have room dividers with transparent curtains. Here we have a lot of lunch meetings, and then we have fabrics which is really, really easy to clean, because accidents are happening here as well. So all these furniture are easy to clean fabrics, like synthetic fibers. Over here we have a sofa with the mohair, just to give some extra attention to the sofa. It's really, really nice shine and nice feeling in that sofa. So we try to live as we talk, so to say. Some what did you call this, Kim, pellets?
The ottoman.
Yeah, small pieces to sit on.
Yes,
These
the
ones
ottomans.
yes, this one are actually ponza, synthetic velvet on. And on the lower part where the feet often meet the what you call this?
The cushion.
Yeah, the cushion. We use artificial leather because there's a lot of marks from the shoes on this one. So you can just clean it away. And that's next picture then. Here you have a more close-up picture on the sofa, and some nice pillows which are actually clean. You can put them in the washing machine and dry clean it. And that's also the benefit with our synthetic fibers, as Massimo told you, that we can clean it in the machine. Yes, I think it's one more, right? And this is a sofa for an entrance hall in offices, for example, or in schools. And for the schools, we always do it in vinyl upholstery because, yeah, you know why now. And in offices, in the entrance hall, we're waiting for your meeting, for example, we can use, sometimes we use wool actually, but mostly like fugia or nice soft synthetic fibers, which we can clean it. And the same is with these small things to sit on. They are also upholstered in synthetic material because the feet are coming onto the piece of furniture. So it gets quite dirty when it's used in libraries, etc. Yes, Dan. And here we have some room dividers, and it's the same here. People talk about that wool is really good when it comes to acoustic solution, and it's really good. Wool is perfect to use for acoustics, absolutely. But with this kind of room dividers, we can push these room dividers back and forth. So that means that people are touching them a lot, and they get quite dirty. So in this case, we use cress. Okay. Our tight woven two-colored looks like the melange synthetic fiber, because we just take the cloth with water and detergent and clean it. So it gets really easy to clean. Mm. And the same with these conference chairs. They're actually wool because we have a lot of long meetings here. So it's Lani, it's some kind of different designs. There's some acoustic curtains in the background plus Bedra.
Yeah, yes. No, whilst you are speaking acoustics there, which of our fabrics would you recommend to be used on acoustic panels?
Lani.
Yeah.
Definitely Lani.
And anything else? And why?
Because Lani is wool, and it's get a really good grip and good feeling on the panel like that.
Yeah.
And it's sometimes they don't want to glue. Some companies glue the panels, the fabric to the panel, depending on which kind of acoustic solution they use, and it's quite good to glue. For example, we have Ericsson use Lani for acoustic solution worldwide in their offices, but they have it like a curtain or a panel, so it's just hanging in the corridors, conference rooms, etc.
We're at this exact moment. We're working on a university project in Monterrey, in Mexico, using Lani also as a curtain.
Yeah.
With acoustic capabilities. So it's interesting.
Normally, mostly important things to know is how breathable are the fabric, how much air goes into the fabric, and you can feel that. You can just take a piece of fabric and put your mouth through it and blow some air. Can you blow through the fabric easily? The sound will go into the room divider or the acoustic panel, and the panel works as an absorber.
Yeah.
So because some fabrics could be a little bit too what should we call that? Yeah, you can't blow the air through it. So blocked. Yeah, you can call it blocked.
Yeah. Or the weave is too tight.
Yeah.
Because in these kinds of systems, the foam is essential. The way the panel is produced, because the fabric is merely making able that the sound goes through and gets into the foam that will actually do the sound absorption.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. That's correct.
Yeah. Okay.
In this case, guys, also our curtains could be an interesting. I'm not talking about the acoustic curtains, but for paneling upholstery, some of our curtains can be a nice alternative, because some panel manufacturers need wider fabrics, wider than a standard upholstery that is 130 centimeters. Sometimes also a curtain when the air pass through the fabrics can be an interesting alternative for a bigger panel.
Okay, because my impression, Massimo, was that our curtain fabrics might lack a little bit flexibility, making it a little bit more difficult to upholster actually, but that's not true.
No, but we were just talking about acoustic paneling, acoustic manufacturers. Sometimes they need wider fabrics than our standard upholstery. The standard upholstery is as a wide of 140, or some of them, but few of them 150. And so our curtains, we do not suggest curtains for upholstery for furniture because they are normally not tested for abrasions. But if you have to upholster an acoustic panel that can be installed on a wall or suspended like this nice picture, you can also consider some of our curtains collection when air passes through the fabrics, and you can let the inside foam working as an absorber.
Okay. Okay.
Good. I think we had one more question.
We have two more questions. I would like to, I would like to use this moment to ask everybody to participate in our poll. I'm launching the poll right now. We have 3 different questions we would like to ask you to answer. So if you would take a moment, yes?
It's also a lot of questions on the Q&A.
Yes, let's have a look at those as well.
Yeah.
Because most of the questions during the meeting we've already discussed. There's one question, a specific question about if we can use the fabrics in hospitals.
It's depending on which country you're living in, but in Sweden, yes. You can use both our woven synthetic fabrics and the vinyl upholstery, because both of them are really, really easy to clean. And actually, in Sweden, they use alcoholic cleaning on our polyester FR, but they always clean it with the cloth afterwards.
Okay. And there was another question about, maybe for you to answer, Massimo. How do you see the upholstery market for the hospitality sector? Do you see changes after this COVID period?
Yep, of course, there will be more and more attention to the cleanability and the hygiene. This is a must for every kind of segments, not only, but every kind of environments. So what normally was in a priority request from healthcare market, now we became a more standard request for every kind of environment, also like hospitality. So probably the one of the priority requests will be the cleanability and hygienization, and how a fabric or how every surface, let's say, will be easy to clean and easy to be antibacterial agents, and this question will be crucial for every kind of surfaces.
Mm-hmm.
And in our upholstery collection, we like to say that the first antibacterial is the way that you clean. For example, the highest temperature, like washing machine at the highest degrees.
Okay. One thing I would like to add in a general sense is that today we are together with, obviously, with Vescom employees, with distributors, with architects, and we really would like to express that we would like to enter projects together with you. So we know this is a moment with a lot of questions, and we would like to share our experience, our knowledge about upholstery fabrics, curtain fabrics, and obviously our wall covering as well with you. So if you have any projects, let us help you with what Janne explained so clearly, the fabric planning. How are we going to plan a room? What specific needs do we have for a given furniture piece? That's something.
Dan,
Yes, Janne.
Can I add something there?
Mm.
And because especially to interior designers and architects, you don't have to be afraid, because sometimes the architect tells, well, we were thinking about using another design, another fabric from a competitor to you for the office chairs, but then we just tell them, please bring it, because we can work with that design. You can, if you like to use it, you use it. We just need to see the colors, we know what to do. Or sometimes the architect said, we need to have these colors on the screen, so the room dividers. Sorry, but we don't have that, but we have a colleague or a competitor who got that colors. We will help you with that. We will just make sure that the design goes together in the right way. So you actually, it's all about having a happy customer in the end, which have a good solution for the future. And that's also thinking about environment and costs, of course. Thanks.
We have a question from the best singer of Vescom, our sales rep from Porto, Marco. He has a question about if we have any information about acoustic values in decibels when it comes to acoustic panels.
It's up to the acoustic panel producer. It's not about the fabric.
Yeah. So that's exactly what we said, that we want fabrics that allow the sound to go through.
Yeah.
And then it's really the composition of the panel that depends on to what extent decibels are being absorbed, right?
Yes.
Okay.
There are some decibels, some I think it's ESO 354. The test is called. It's a acoustic test, and it's made on some of our fabrics, like for example Bedra. It's made on Bedra as well. But that is only valid for the fabric. It's not in combination with the screen producer or the acoustic panel. So we can just measure the material, not the whole system, so to say.
But also we can add that the decibel are related to isolation and normal acoustic isolation, and fabrics. Our fabrics, like our curtains or panels, an acoustic panels upholstered with a fabric is related to sound absorption. So in this case, the test is related to reverb, time of reverberation. So it's not related to decibel.
Okay. Our colleague Leon is joining us. Leon, I think you would like to add something, right?
Yes, but Massimo answered exactly what I was trying to say, that we are talking about a reverb instead of a decibel reduction.
Sorry, Leon, but you are the master anyway, yeah?
Thank you.
I would still like to ask you something, Leon. What are you seeing or foreseeing actually of changes in your market, in the Dutch market, when it comes to fabrics?
You mean with the whole Corona situation right now?
That's, I think, the best description, the whole Corona situation. No, obviously, what are your ideas? What are your clients looking for? What are the questions arising from the market?
One of the first things they will ask you is the cleanability from the different kind of fabrics we make. So we try to explain them how to clean them in a really good way, in a really high value way. So that's the only thing we can do right now. And we do this with the upholstery vinyl collection and the easy to wash curtains as well. So in high temperature washing curtains, especially for hospitals.
Another question I have for you, Leon, because when we talk about especially the Netherlands and Belgium, one segment that was very heavily hit by the coronavirus was the elderly homes. Do you see big changes there? Do you see more potential for Vescom products?
There's a huge potential for Vescom products in the elderly care homes. I think the Netherlands is a little bit of a special market because one of our biggest markets here is the elderly care market. For me, it's one of the best markets to sell the vinyl upholstery, because the vinyl upholstery is not only the leather look, but it's also the textile look now. So you have this home comfort feel with a really easy to clean product. and that is also cleanable with alcohol or sometimes bleach if you like to use it. Always check if it's possible with a sales rep in your country, but that's one of the products we sell the most at the elderly cares homes now.
Okay, thank you, Leon. I don't know
Yeah.
if there's any additional questions or if my friends here in the panel would like to add something.
Not from me at this stage. All my questions have been answered. Very well, thank you.
Okay, then I think maybe this is the moment for me, first of all, to thank my dear friends here. We have been in my markets in Brazil and Mexico mainly, we've been receiving a lot of questions with regards to the usage of contract fabrics. So that's why I reached out to three people that I think I learn every day from, Massimo, Janne, and Kim. So I want this from here. I really would like to thank you. I would like to thank everybody present here during this presentation. And there's one question here. Do you see any changes in the residential market for the future?
I think, sorry, please, Janne, please.
Oh, okay. I think when architects sees our synthetic fibers, they sometimes say, wow, is that really synthetic fibers? So I think because of the COVID-19, etc., and the cost in hotel care to taking care of the environments, I think the Vescom fibers are really, really nice to work with, for example, in hotels, because you think that is wool, it's soft, it's really, really easy to take care of. So I think the residential market, hotels market, etc., will go over more and more to synthetic fibers. I think that's what we can see up here.
I read something about a very famous designer whose name I obviously forgot, but he said that, well, we should stop talking about home office and just think about the office at home, because he foresees a change in residential design with obviously a higher value for offices within homes. And in that sense, we see that, at least in my markets, we see that residential fabrics very often are non-technical ones. So in the first slide that Massimo showed about fibers, we see a lot of linen, especially here, and a desire to use linen because they're not so much worried about cleanability and other arguments, but me and my team, we truly believe that there's interesting potential growth in this market with a higher significance for technical characteristics. Okay. So, well, I would like to thank everybody very much for being present here. I would like to stress that if you want to get this presentation, please go to your sales reps and we will provide the presentations. If you want a presentation in a different language, reach out to your sales rep nearest to you, and we will be more than happy to redo this presentation in a smaller scale. Thank you very much, and I hope all of you have a very good day.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
Bye.